All right, well, here I'm just gonna set the stage for everybody today. Welcome to a webinar hosted by the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce. We've lined up a lot of community leaders here today just to give an update, and these are gonna be brief updates. So we've got a lot of different organizations that kind of represent the Chino Valley. We feel it's important to educate our business owners and our community about what's going on with the coronavirus and as much up-to-date information as we can possibly get for you today. So that's why we've compiled these folks from across the Chino Valley to just inform, and it's an opportunity for you also to ask questions. So don't be shy. Now's the time to ask those questions. One of the things, like I'm saying, is that each of these folks will have about 8 minutes to kind of share what they're handling, what they're working with, what they're doing on. So it's going to be very impacted. We're going to have a short time frame here. But what I will promise is that I'll promise that we get all of these questions compiled, and then we'll be able to send them to the group to hopefully answer those questions. I can also do some research and finding out for you if you have any questions for your business. We also want to understand the needs of the community as a whole, and the needs of businesses in particular. So if you have any immediate needs, things that you're challenged with, things that you're faced with, don't be shy asking those questions either. And I'll make sure that they get answered as quickly as possible. So the plan today is to compile those questions, get them to the folks who hopefully have some kind of answers. And also keep in mind that this is all very fluid for everyone. So there isn't answers. Sometimes, in some cases, there's not going to be answers to your questions, but we'll just do the best that we possibly can. I want to thank our panelists. So they're going to be hopping in and out for today. So Imee, if you can hear me, I've got you scheduled at 8:51. I have Peter, I have you scheduled at 8:03.
Okay.
From Cisneros, from U.S. Congressman Cisneros' office, Stephanie Wade. Stephanie, I have you at 8:11. Valerie, I have you at 8:19. And Chino Valley Fire, I have you at 8:27. So if you can hear those, that's when we'll be going. We're going to get started right at 7:45. Hi, Ryan. We have Ryan from San Bernardino County Workforce Development. Ryan, you're going to be up at 8:43. And it looks like a lot of our folks are connecting their audio so they can participate in this. Again, this is an opportunity. So what I'll tell you, our Chamber of Commerce, every Wednesday morning, we host our business at breakfast at 7:45 a.m. at the Chino Hills Community Center. We usually have about 30 to 40 businesses that come and participate. And now that we can't gather in person any longer, we want to continue to do work. We feel that as the Chamber of Commerce is extremely important for our businesses to do work as best as you possibly can, making sure that you're following the county, the state, the cities, the federal government, and all those different agencies that are working right now. So right now, if you look at my background, I'm in my garage at home, set this up so that we can do this webinar here today. So if you see that junk cluttered in the background, that's what we're doing. And I'm going into the garage so that I don't wake up my 4-year-old or my 1-year-old, so that my wife wouldn't murder me for doing that. So what I was going to say was, when we do get together, I mean, the purpose of us getting together is to network, to connect with each other. And I feel like this is a great opportunity for us to learn those skills, to network and connect with each other online. So we have a lot of business owners that have already chimed in our chat section. So if you are just and make sure you're letting people know who you are, where you're from, and then when they do that, let's make a concerted effort to connect with one another while we're here. We have regular attendees at our Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce Business at Breakfast. So to our regular attendees, if you see new folks that are jumping in the call with us today, make sure you introduce yourselves and make sure you make them feel welcome. What I will also say is that this is a unique format for today. I think in the future, we're really going to try to duplicate what we do at Business at Breakfast. We're going to have our members. So if you join us next week, everybody should be participating in this fashion, where you see the panelists at the top. We can have everybody there so everybody has a chance to kind of introduce themselves and their business, and we can get to know each other in a virtual setting. So our first person up today is is Police Chief Wes Simmons from the Chino Police Department. The only frame, so I know that it's going to be challenging working with people in-house. Just bear with me. If somebody isn't able to make it on time, we'll just shift to the next person and go from there.
I'm here,
Wes,
Zeb.
are you here? All right, fantastic.
I am here.
Okay, great. So Wes, let me just give you a brief introduction and the panelists that are here as well, just to tell you what we're looking for. I mean, we're looking twofold. Is one, we want to be able to provide the most up-to-date information from your organization as you know it. So anything that you feel is just you would like to educate our community on, that's what we're looking for. We're also on the second part of it is we want to encourage the folks that are listening today to ask questions. And so you can check questions in the chat box. I think there's a Q&A section. You can also ask questions. And what we want to do is we want to be able to source those questions so we get an understanding of what our businesses need and how we can help them. The other thing I'll also mention is if you are watching this in the replay, we are putting on Facebook. You can ask those questions in the comment section and we will try to get those answers for you as well. But like I said, you may not have those answers. We may not have the answers. We're just going to do the best we can and go from there. So Police Chief Wes Simmons from Chino, thank you so much for joining us. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Zeb. I appreciate being on here and talking to the business community in the Chino Valley. I want to make sure everybody knows that 911 services are fully operational and our officers are still responding to calls for service. And their goal is to keep this community protected. We did close our front lobby just to minimize face-to-face contact, but we offer both telephonic and online reporting. And of course, if you have an emergency, 911. For non-emergencies, this is a number that all your businesses should commit to memory, and that's 909-628-1234. That is our non-emergency line, goes directly to our dispatch center and is answered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And unlike some of the other businesses out there that are being asked to close down, the police department is not one of them. We will remain open, and so far we have had no reported issues related to the COVID-19. Yes, we've seen some of the store shelves be emptied, and so I'd encourage people not to hoard. They assure us that those shelves will continue to be stocked. Many of those products, come from right here in our local communities, especially when it comes to milk, eggs, things like that. So we don't need the public to be hoarding anything, and just treat people kindly and have patience and stay at home if you can.
Okay, perfect. So we're also, like I mentioned, we're opening this up for questions. So if any of you have questions for Police Chief Simmons, we may not be able to answer those right now, but we'll compile those. We'll make sure that we ask those questions as we go through it. Here's one question that's come in. Has there been any incidents that require police responses at local retail?
No, there have not.
Okay. All right. Well, Police Chief Simmons, I want to thank you for taking the time to update us. I know that you had a meeting and appointment, so that's why we scheduled you to go first. So thank you for jumping on the call.
No problem, and everybody take care.
Feel free to ask those questions, and we'll compile those and make sure. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Next up on our agenda, we had State Senator Ling Chang's office. Or do we have that person on the line yet?
Yeah, this is Carolina, her district representative.
Hi, Carolina, district representative. Thank you very much for jumping on the call with us today. So like I just kind of want to give you a brief update. We have about 8 minutes or so for you to just kind of give a general update of what your office is dealing with, how just any information that you feel is necessary for the businesses of the Chino Valley or the community of the Chino Valley.
Hi, sure. So I'm happy to be here. Good morning. I don't have very many updates. What I do let you all know is that on Tuesday night, or Monday night actually, sorry, the legislature approved a bill package in response to COVID-19. We do have Senator Chang's statement, and I just sent it over to you, Zeb, to share via email. And basically, it's a bill package to help provide some funding relief to our different agencies that need it at this time, healthcare, education, et cetera. The other note that I wanted to make is that our office is continuing operations for the time being. So I know that we've gotten a lot of questions as to whether we're open or not. The governor has instructed government services, non-essential government services, to continue. So our district office is up and going just to respond to constituent issues, concerns that may come our way. We're also sending out updates on Senator Chang's webpage so that everyone knows what's going on with the legislature. So feel free to contact us with any questions you may have. Senator Chang launched an elderly care collection drive. So we are collecting donated canned items, goods at our district office, which are drop-off only, to be distributed to senior serving nonprofits in the district. The other thing that I wanted to know, and this is a good one, is Senator Chang is also hosting a telephone town hall regarding COVID, and that is going to be happening on Thursday at 2 p.m. And we do invite you to participate, but there is limited capacity. So if you wish to participate, we need you to RSVP by 5 p.m. Today. And to RSVP, I am sending the link to you, Zeb, also, but that information is online. But I'm sending Zeb the web link just so everyone has it. And that is happening on Thursday, the call. So we thank you for joining this call. We know that this is an important matter, and we want to thank our healthcare emergency personnel, our first responders, because we know that this time has been truly kind of crazy in its own way, and we thank you for all that you do. So thank you. That's all I have for now.
Carolina, can you include that link in the chat section on our Zoom call today? Are you calling in by phone?
I am calling in. I just sent that to you by email, but if I can find a way to join the chat, I will do that in a few minutes.
Yeah. No, I can do that. I can take care of that while we're doing that. So what I'll do is I'll copy and paste that link in our chat box. We have a brief question for you. Can you elaborate on the relief bill and what type of businesses can apply for relief?
So you know what, I actually don't have specifics on the bill, but I'd be happy to look into it and send the information to you, Zeb, so that you can share.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Carolina. I appreciate you taking the time, coming on and informing our members. If you have questions for Senator Ling Chang's office, feel free to ask those questions in our chat section, and we'll make sure we do the best that we can to get those answered as well. So thank you.
Of course.
And I'll be sure to include that link in the chat box, so you'll have it here. And I'll also send it out via email as soon as possible. Every day we're trying to compile all of the latest information together for our businesses. We send it out on email. So I try to send it out as early in the day as possible, but obviously throughout the day I'm getting lots of new updates as it seems like it's changing hourly. So I'll do the best I can to get that out as early as possible. The person on our docket here is, we have District Director for San Bernardino County Supervisor Curt Hagman's office, Peter Rogers. Peter, thank you for joining us today.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you?
Doing great.
Awesome. Thank you for pulling this together.
Hey, thank you for participating in it. We really appreciate it.
It's a nice test of different capabilities of communicating, and I think this is almost forcing our hand to do more and more of this as time goes on, even when we get past the crisis. So thank you for initiating this.
You're welcome.
Okay, so first of all, Supervisor Hagman apologizes for not being able to participate. He is on the road right now. As you can imagine, Curt is a chairman of the board, and the chairman of the board signs all the documents and helps initiate a lot of the direction that takes place in the county. And he is going everywhere right now. Originally, he wanted to participate, but he was unsure if his phone would stay connected because he was going to be driving to a location. So he deferred to our district office and myself to communicate some of the information. So as you can imagine, everything that is in place today has the possibility of being amended tomorrow. So this is, as you said up front, this is the most current information that, that I can share to you, with you and everybody participating from the county of San Bernardino. As of late yesterday, San Bernardino County has 3 documented cases of the virus. At this point, all are alive and being treated. We all know that the number of cases will rise over the next few weeks. So it will be a no surprise to no one, and those will be determined as more test kits go out or distributed in mass to all the healthcare providers that are going on, that are out and about testing individuals. So I think those numbers are going to rise significantly in every area over the next couple of weeks. Now, earlier, or probably yesterday around 4 or 5 o'clock, the following directive was released to the public from the county of San Bernardino. And let me read you some of the information on this press release, because it's fairly new information for everybody. The county's acting health officer ordered the cancellation. Now, this is San Bernardino County. Just wanted to clarify. The county's acting health officer ordered the cancellation of gatherings of any number of people within the county. So it was, we heard numbers earlier of 250, and then people were talking about 50, and then the number 10. The directive is there's no gatherings at all, at least through April 6th. The order requires, starting today, the closure of all movie theaters, gyms, health clubs, bars, adult entertainment establishments, and other businesses that serve alcohol, but do not serve food. Food and beverages are covered under guidelines that were established 2 days ago by California Department of Health, and I'll defer to that in a minute. The directive that came out yesterday from San Bernardino County does not apply to these activities, including work, public transportation, air travel, grocery stores, charitable food distribution, certified farmers markets, which came up yesterday at a special council meeting. They're allowed to continue. The shopping at stores or malls. The order also does not apply to congregate living situations, including dormitories and homeless encampments. And as we know, part of this just reviewed the fact that all San Bernardino County public schools have voluntarily closed as part of the effort to stop the spread of the virus. And that'll be for the foreseeable future. And as we continue to watch the news and different news outlets, I have a feeling that schools will stay closed longer than parents are hoping for, and teachers. And of course, as with everything we've been hearing for the past week, especially those that are 65 or older have to be more cautious as to their participation in daily life. Now, what it is not, what this directive is not, is a directive similar to what's taken place in San Francisco and what New York is contemplating, which is a complete hibernation from society for a period of time. This is less stringent than that at this point. On restaurants, that's the big one, because we're all feeling a lot of compassion for the small business owners, especially that are impacted by what's happening in the economy over the past week or so. Restaurants, is the county's deferring to the state ruling that they announced on Monday, and I'll read from that state directive, restaurants should be closed for in-restaurant seating and dining, but can be open for drive-through and other pickup delivery options. Basically, as we all know, and Wes, if he's still on, can verify this, the police and others are not going around ensuring that people are following the rules that are in place with these directives. It's more of a common sense approach to trying to keep everybody from exposing others to this virus. So they're not going around restaurant to restaurant knocking on doors saying you must close. But that's the request, and a lot of restaurants are following that request, and they are either starting to shut down or they're doing more takeout dining. So I think that's all I have for now that we already don't know, just based on news outlets. So I'm open for questions if I can answer them.
Cool. So let's have one. Here's a question about gathering at large supermarkets. Actually, we had a couple of questions about that. So with these things about staying 6 feet away, people especially in the mornings are hitting the grocery. Is there any kind of directive on how we're separating those folks to make sure that they're staying 6 feet apart and
No, I know, but I mean, last night at our special council meeting, Valerie and I both stuck our arms out towards each other, and we realized that's probably 5.5 to 6 feet, probably 5.5 feet with Valerie's size. And we we just decided, okay, we'll just stick our arms out and see what it is. No, I mean, this is all common sense, and it's all new for us. This is the first time I've ever been through this. I've been through 9/11 and the trickle down of that, and I was old enough, Kennedy was shot, and things went into hibernation there with the country, but I've never experienced anything like this. I think it's just common sense.
Yeah, and I also wanted to update our members, because you brought up about restaurants and kind of their abilities. One of the things we're compiling at the chamber is we're compiling a list of all of the restaurants who are offering takeout options. So if you have a restaurant or you know of a restaurant that's offering takeout options, feel free to chime in with those in the chat box, and I'll make sure we document those. We've already got it up on our website, so we'll be sending that out through social media, just so that our community knows which restaurants have the ability to offer takeout and curbside service and that kind of thing.
Excellent, excellent. And yes, I saw Jim's note. You're welcome, Jim.
And Rachel asks, does it have to be a member restaurant? We're going to include every restaurant on our list. We will, just because we are the chamber, we'll put priority on the ones that are chamber members, so those ones will be at the top, but absolutely we're going to be including all restaurants that are offering takeout services in the Chino Valley as a resource for citizens of the Chino Valley. There's also questions about, what about so they're talking about shutting down different types of businesses. One of the questions in particular was like law firms as an example. Do you have any insight into how they're going to be shutting down these different organizations or businesses and how that's going to work?
I think it's self-directed. Courts are closing down, but I'll give you the example of here in the Curt Hagman office here in Chino Hills. We are closing our lobby starting this morning. The lobby will not be open, but all 7 of us that work in this office will be here this morning working, answering phone calls and doing our normal business. So inside the walls, I think work is still going on. Again, I think that would only change if it's a circumstance such as what is taking place in San Francisco and maybe some others, where they're telling people you do not go anywhere now. A complete shutdown, and we're not in that state here, that stage here in San Bernardino County. Now, if things really explode with a number of cases, I can see it going in that direction. But for now, I think just business as you see fit.
Okay. So those of you that are online, or if you're watching this in the replay video afterwards, or if for some reason I was able to set up the Facebook Live video that's going on right now, feel free to comment in the chat section if you have any questions for Supervisor Curt Hagman or the County of San Bernardino, and we'll make sure we try to get those questions out.
And tell you what, Zeb, since phone numbers are being provided, I'll give you a phone number that directly takes you into the district office here in Chino Hills for Supervisor Hagman, and it's 909-465-5600. 5265. And that's our main line coming into the office.
Okay. Thank you very much, Peter. We appreciate it. Like I said, another reason for this webinar today is we really want to get an assessment of the needs of our business community. So those of you that are participating today, give us your insight, share with us what you're struggling with, your challenges. We did put together a survey through the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce. So the survey is just, the whole purpose of it is so that we can have feedback so that when we heard about that stimulus package that came in yesterday. So there are going to be resources that are going to be available, and we just want to make sure that we can get those as quickly and efficiently as possible to our community. So that's the purpose of that survey is the more business that we have that fill that out, we can easily direct our representatives, say, here's the challenges they're facing, here's the issues, and see what you can do, you know. So make sure if you haven't filled out that survey yet, make sure you do. It is on our website, and we put together it's a COVID-19 update page on the homepage of the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce website. And that has all of our up-to-date information on everything that we know of how this is affecting businesses and what you can do. One of the other things I want to encourage all of you is we're trying to get creative, and we call it reimagining what the chamber looks like. And I encourage you to think about this, how you can reimagine your business to kind of continue to conduct business with the parameters that we have set forth for us today. So thank you, Peter, for chiming in. Next up, we have our U.S. Congressman Gil Cisneros and our representative. I saw Stephanie Wade on here earlier. Is Gil here or is it Stephanie? Hello? Do we have Gil Stephanie on the line with us?
This is Stephanie, but I know that the Congressman is on. So let's just hold for a minute while we work that out. Yeah, I was just texting with staff who's with him. I'm remote. Okay. So give me one more second to see.
Absolutely, absolutely. And while we're waiting for that, I know that some of you have joined in since we first started. So when we first started the webinar, and also feel free to share this out so people can jump on live right now as we're doing it. But I also wanted to encourage all of you to take this as an opportunity to network with each other. In the chat box, people have been putting in their names, the businesses they represent, how they can be of service to other businesses. So it's important that even though we're changing the way that we do things, that we still continue to conduct business and that we still continue to build those partnerships and relationships. So let's do the best we can to make that happen. And just because we're scrolling through things pretty rapidly, can you copy and paste that question and post it for us? We also had a comment from Stephanie, I believe, that asked us to get the list of restaurants in time to post for the Congressman's town hall at 3 p.m. today. I posted a link to a town hall hosted by Senator Ling Chang's office. I know that Gil Cisneros is also putting on a town hall today virtually. So we'll be including the link for that in the chat box as well. So to stay informed on what's happening at those different agencies, different levels, I'd encourage you guys to attend those as well.
All right, the Congressman's having trouble logging in, and I think it's because we're using the same ID. So I'm going to log out, and I think then he can get in.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next person. And then,
yeah, and I'm logging out.
I will. And then if he comes back in, we'll shift over. So next on our list here is we have a Community Relations Manager, Valerie McClung from the City of Chino Hills. Valerie, are you there?
Good morning. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me okay? Good morning.
Yes, we can.
Good morning. So I want to start out with the latest information. As you know, this has been developing quite rapidly over the last 2 weeks. So I'll start out with letting everyone know that the city declared a local emergency on Monday. And last night, our city council ratified the local emergency proclamation. And it's all in response, as everyone knows, to COVID-19 pandemic. What this action will allow the city to do is implement some guidelines and measures that are necessary to spread to control and combat the spread of the virus. It also allows us to continue to comply with federal, state, and San Bernardino County emergency declarations. The declaration actually allows us to also work very closely with our various agencies and allows the city to seek, most importantly, federal and state assistance. So it was an important step in the emergency process that cities go through. And we are continuing to follow guidance and directives from the federal, state, and county levels. We will continue to do so throughout this, combating this issue. And we're also following guidance from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the California Department of Public Health, also the San Bernardino County Department of Public Health. With all that being said, the first thing I want to outline, because I'm going to outline some of our closures, but very first and foremost, I want to let our residents and the business community know that all of the city essential services will continue. No matter what we do, we will continue to serve our community. What that basically means is that our employees will continue to report to work every single day. We'll continue to assist our residents until we have direction otherwise. And all of the guidance is that we are required to continue to provide essential services. And that's something we take very seriously. Also, with that being said, we are wanting to continue to assist residents in a variety of ways, like you're doing with the business community by doing this webinar as well. So what we'll be doing is working to develop. All this developed very rapidly, and so today we'll be focusing on developing a guide for all of the essential services that we can provide by phone, email, and other remote options. And in some cases, we'll still be providing in-person service, but by appointment only. So we'll continue to provide essential services. Also wanted to point out and take this opportunity to list some of the services that have been suspended. The non-essential services have been suspended. So passport processing is suspended. All of our recreation facility reservations and conference room use, of course, is suspended. Our recreation classes, programs, and activities are also canceled. Gazebo reservations have been canceled, and no new reservations will be taken. And this period of time that we're talking about is March 13th through April 13th. So, we'll continue to evaluate these things as time goes on, and we'll continue to reevaluate these things. The Teen Activity Center is also closed. Our mobile recreation program's closed. We, as of today, at 4:30, City Hall and the City Yard will close. Our Chino Hills Community Center is closed. McCoy Equestrian and Recreation Center and the McCoy Residence is closed. Sleepy Hollow Community Center is closed. Grand Avenue Park, the community building and staff offices will be closed. The parking lot will remain open as people are, walking on the trails and doing that kind of thing. Mystic Canyon Building is closed. We did get word yesterday that our James S. Thalman Chino Hills Branch Library will be closed. Their closure dates are different. Those dates are March 17th through April 5th, but again, I'm sure they'll be evaluating as they go along as well. Our water conservation poster contest has been postponed. And then we had a slew of large special events. and to comply with trying to prevent the spread of coronavirus. The youth track and field meet on March 21st is canceled. The Kids Art Exploration Day, that's canceled. That was March 28th. Our adult Easter egg scramble and our Easter excitement event, which draws thousands to that event, has been canceled. And the free mulch giveaway on April 4th is canceled. Those are all activities and events that are, again, in that range of March 13th through April 13th. Our goal, again, is to continue to serve the community with our essential services, and we will continue to do that. Also, I wanted to point out and take this opportunity to encourage the community to sign up for our emergency alerts. It's important to get this important information that we provide to the community, and the most effective way to do that is to sign up for those alerts. And I want to give the address that people can visit on our website to do so. That's www.chinohills.org/emergency alerts. So I would encourage you to sign up there. Also, if you're looking for the latest information on what's transpiring in our community, I would encourage you to visit the city website. That address is www.chinohills.org/coronavirus, and that's where you'll find all of the latest information. And then also want to provide our phone number to City Hall, 909-364-2600. We'll continue to take phone calls and conduct business. And also, the last thing is, if you would like to email us with any questions, you can email us at chinohillscovid19@chinohills.org. And also wanted to take one quick moment to thank the Chamber of Commerce for all they do for our business community, and Zeb for all you do as well. And one last thing. We will also be compiling a list of all the stores that are providing special shopping hours for seniors and disabled customers. And we've already started that work. We're doing the same thing the Chamber's doing. We're compiling a list of all the restaurants that will be are providing takeout and delivery service. And Zeb, perhaps we could partner with you on that list and cross-reference that list too. We want to provide the most accurate information for our community as possible. And that concludes my report.
Okay, we have a couple of quick questions for you. So one question was, how can the general public still participate in public meetings and address agenda issues?
We're currently developing that. Yeah, so we're currently developing that plan. There's quite a bit of talk about using the technology as well. Right now, the plan is for next Tuesday, and this could change. Again, it's developing very quickly, but the plan would be to implement the social distancing with the San Bernardino County order that came yesterday. That'll be something that will be being discussed very seriously today. So we'll probably be putting more information out on our website as we develop ways to continue our meetings.
Okay, and is Chino Hills working remotely, or are you guys going into the office and social distancing?
Right now, we will be working in the office and social distancing. However, like I said, this is a fluid situation, so there could be a plan to work remotely as needed. So again, all of this is transpiring today.
Okay. All right.
Hey, this is Congressman Cisneros. I'm here now if you're ready.
All right, Abs. Fantastic. So now on the line, we have U.S. Congressman Gil Cisneros. Thank you for joining us today. So give us an update on what the latest news is and what you feel like members in the Chino Valley should be aware of.
Can you hear me?
We had him for a second. Yeah, there you are. Yes, we can.
All right. Hi. Well, good. Sorry I was a little late. I was having a little problem with my Zoom, so I just called in. But I just wanted to update everybody and let you know that I'm sure you all heard in the news a couple of weeks ago, we passed an $8.3 billion stimulus package that was going to allow the government to go out to buy more of the PPE equipment, more ventilators, to do the R&D for the test so that we can get more tests available, do everything that we need to do to help take care of this health crisis. Last week, the House passed a stimulus package, towards the American people that would help them. A lot of it having to do with paid family leave, making sure that we can continue to feed our children, that they get their free and reduced lunch meals at schools, as well as supporting the WIC and the SNAP programs. We also, there was a thing in there to make sure that nobody would have to pay for a test if they needed a test, and also to expand unemployment insurance. So currently that bill is sitting right now in the Senate. The Senate is trying to add on another $850 billion stimulus package. I'm sure a lot of you have been hearing about in the news. So that bill that the House passed last week hasn't been passed yet. And so right now they're working at the details to figure out if they're just going to pass the original bill and do another third bill with that $850 billion, or they're going to attach it onto the current one that we passed last week. My office here is working to make sure we're staying in contact with all the local cities and everybody, as well as the school districts. If you need anything, please make sure you give us a call. Later on today, we're going to do a Facebook Live with some public health officials from St. Jude Hospital to go over some of the health, crisis things, the things that we need to do to make sure that we're staying safe. But I also wanted to talk about too, and I know because this is the chamber, one of the things that was in the first $8.3 billion package was $1 billion that's going to SBA to make sure that loans are available to small businesses. So, that's called the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. It can be, can give business up to $2 million if it's needed for them to make sure that they can get these loans. If anybody has any questions, they can go to disasterloan.sba.gov.ela, or they can just give us a call here at our office at 714-459-4575. Our offices are going to remain open, although our staff is going to be minimal in the offices. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to continue our office hours that we've been doing in Chino Hills, but our Diamond Bar office will be staffed. Our Fullerton office will be staffed. I just ask that if you need to come by, please call ahead and make an appointment. Just don't show up. But our staff is still working remotely, and if you're having or need to get a hold of anybody, you can still give us a call, and we'll be able to respond to your needs. But the House is now kind of working on these other stimulus packages. There's probably going to be a lot more that's going to go on to make sure that we're doing this. And so just if you have any of those concerns, please, I encourage the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce to give us a call and let us know what these are so that we can make sure that we take care of our small businesses.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. And we did put together a survey for our members. Please take the time to fill out that survey. Those are the types of information that they were looking for. And I talked with your representative, Stephanie, yesterday about gave her the information that we had from those things. And she's using that to kind of source what the needs are of the businesses in the Chino Valley to see how we can provide services for those businesses. We had a couple of questions for you. Do you know if there's any kind of mortgage relief that will be coming? Are banks going to be pausing any payments, credit, mortgage bills, since these businesses are struggling for cash?
Right now they're talking about $1 trillion package. All those things will hopefully be included in that. Mm-hmm. I don't have all the details yet on what that is going to include, but we do know that we want to make sure that we are taking care of the American people and that people are going to be able to continue to hopefully receive their salary, and there will be mortgage relief as well.
How about unemployment insurance services? Do you have any information on that?
So, you know, in the House version, there was a provision in there that expanded unemployment insurance. Unfortunately, that bill hasn't been passed yet by the Senate, so that's not available yet. You know, that is going to be kind of worked out through, I guess, going through the states, you know, as you would collect unemployment insurance as you always would any other way. This is a thing that we need to make sure that we get done, and it's something that I know that we already worked on in the House. Now we're just waiting for the Senate to pass the bill that we did so this can get out there. And as soon as that bill is passed, we will go ahead and make all that information available on the website.
Okay, great. And then were there extensions for income tax deadlines or BOE sales taxes or utilities? To your knowledge?
Well, no. So the federal income tax, yes, I believe it was, I think it was 90 days that it was extended by the administration. Unfortunately, the administration or the federal government can't control the utilities payments or the sales tax because those are state. Those are paid to the state. But you know, your income tax was extended. Income tax deadline, I should say, was extended.
Well, thank you so much. I know that you guys have that town hall later today, so I've seen you chimed in with that. Do me a favor, whoever's, I think it's Stephanie that is putting the links to that. Do me a favor, put a link in the chat box to that teleconference later today, or that Facebook Live later today. They also included information on the disaster loan opportunity, so I'd encourage you to check that out as well. Congressman Cisneros, thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right, so next up, we got a message from Imee, who is the Public Information Officer from Chino Valley Unified School District. She's got to head out, so we're going to let her jump in the line. So Imee, you're up. While we're waiting for her, let me just update you all. So the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce, on our website, you have, we put together a coronavirus update, which gives us update from the CDC, the U.S. Department of Public Health, the San Bernardino County Department of Public Health, the state public health agency. And so we have all of those different resources that are available of what's happening there. We've also connected with the Small Business Administration and different links that we found through the U.S. Chamber. And they're all offering resources to our community. So I encourage you to check out our COVID-19, especially for businesses. So we're having a business emphasis on this. I know a lot of other agencies are putting up their updates on COVID-19 and how they're handling that issue. We're really trying to congregate the information for businesses that are in the Chino Valley. And so it's a good source of information for that. We try to send out emails on a daily basis, and we try to get the information out there as quick as possible. So I'm just gonna, since we haven't heard from Imee yet, I know that the audio is having an challenge with the audio, so we'll just move on to our next person, which is Chino Valley Fire. Let me unmute them and see if they're able to get in. Chino Valley Fire, are you there?
Good morning. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jeremy Ault. I know many of you. I'm one of the battalion chiefs here at Chino Valley Fire. And on behalf of Tim Shackelford, our fire chief, he apologizes. He's actually in another meeting at this point. So I'm here to share with everyone where we're at with Chino Valley Fire. So we are actually continuing to focus on our mission of providing exceptional service and safeguarding the community. So as of right now, there is no interruption of any of our emergency services to the community. Our firefighter paramedics and firefighters are in full service, fully staffed, responding to all risk incidents even as we speak. So again, I just want to reinforce that there is no interruption of emergency services from Chino Valley Fire at this time. We do have a team in place that is planning for the needs of not only our community, but also our responders as well, to make sure we can continue to ensure that continuity of service. In addition to that, we also serve in support of the missions of both of the cities that we serve. So we're actively engaged with them as well. Of note, we sent out a press release yesterday evening, basically stating and following suit with most businesses and other government agencies, all of our facilities are now closed to the public. Again, much like our city partners, we still have folks who are coming to work every day. They're practicing social distancing while they're at work. Yes, we are exploring options of telecommuting and things like that, but folks are at work, even in our administrative functions, but all of our facilities are closed to the public. I have a phone number that if people have, especially if our business folks have needs from our community risk reduction section, they can call in at area code 909-315-8829. Again, that's 909-315-8829. Or they can email at permits@chofire.org. And again, all of this information is available on our social media. You can access it via our website at chinovalleyfire.org, or you can see us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the various social media outlets. We have had some questions from the community about how are our firefighters doing? Do they have any needs? Do they need any donations of like food and things like that at the fire stations to keep them going? While we certainly appreciate those offers, as of right now, all of the needs of our firefighters and other personnel are being met, and we are not currently accepting any kinds of donations for those kinds of things. We just encourage people, again, to be great neighbors, find someone in their community that, that may need supplies, reach out to someone who in the elderly community or the older community that may need supplies like that. Again, while we appreciate those offers, all of our personnel, their needs are being met at this time. So that's all I have for our report at this time.
Okay, here's one quick question for you. How are you? Is your staying, keeping safe from exposure to the coronavirus?
Great question. Actually, it's interesting that even before coronavirus and COVID-19, as firefighter paramedics treat people in the field for various illnesses, exposure to communicable diseases is part of our normal business. So we are following procedures that we normally have in place that are obviously in conjunction with the CDC guidelines, the guidelines that are in place from the Department of Health, from the county and the state as well. Those involve, and you may see more information out there, we provide additional, it's called PPE or personal protective equipment, such things as masks, gowns, gloves, goggles, those kinds of things. So our personnel at this time have adequate PPE when they treat other people. And then we have a system in place to follow up for any issues that arise out of that.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming online. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Jeremy.
You're very welcome. Have a great day.
Okay, you too. So if you have any questions for the Chino Valley Fire and you want to have some of those answered, feel free to include those in the chat. Imee, are you there?
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, thank you for including us in this. And I just first wanted to say Dr. Enfield is sorry that he couldn't join, but despite our schools being closed, there still is a lot of work that we're doing behind the scenes to make sure that the students transition smoothly into distance learning. So thank you for allowing me to come on and give you update for him. As everyone is aware, on Friday, we issued the letter and directive from Dr. Enfield to close all 35 of our schools. The school closures took effect the day before yesterday. I'm sorry, my days are blending in. On Monday. So Monday was the first day that we didn't have school. And that will continue until April 3rd at this point. Although I don't know if anyone's been up on the education announcements being made by the governor and by local leaders. We are not sure that April 3rd is a hard date. It's very likely that we're going to extend beyond April 3rd, and some school districts in the area have actually already declared that they are closing until April 30th. So what we've told our community is that at this point, we're closed until April 3rd, but we will notify them ahead of time if that is going to be extended. The way we've been communicating with our families is through direct emails, phone calls, and text messaging through our school Aries communication system. So the good part of it is that we are getting our messages directly to them, but we're also posting everything on our school district website, dedicated COVID-19 updates section. That can be found on our school district website on the front page. There's several locations where you can go on there and just click, and it'll take you directly to that. That, in case people want to know, is chino.k12.ca.us. So I'll type it in the notes later. At this point, while we don't have any students in the schools, we do have staff still attending work on site, and that is because there's a lot of work to be done to put distance learning and education modules together. So we've got our curriculum people working around the clock to do that. We also have the issue of technology being available to segments of our population that may not have technology at home, computers at home, or Wi-Fi at home. Our district is not a one-to-one school district at this time. So otherwise, all of our students would have their own device, and this would not be as much of an issue. So what we're doing is we are trying to get an idea of who might need computer, laptop loaners, and Wi-Fi hotspots. So we are surveying our community. We made an announcement last week. There's a form that's also on our website on the homepage and in the announcements where parents and families who don't have technology can sign up, and then we will make sure that they receive the technology and Wi-Fi that they need. This is important for us because Dr. Enfield has made it clear to everyone that he does not want the schools closed and education stopped. We have heard that there are some school districts who haven't found a way to make continued distance learning work out. And some school districts are just shutting down the school districts without really thinking, because of this emergency state, that they're not thinking in terms of continued extensive education for kids. But that's not Dr. Enfield's philosophy. So we're all in agreement. So we're all working behind the clock to make sure that our students do have this education at home and that they have the proper tools to be able to continue. Some of the services that we will continue for our students and community are meal services. So meal services are continuing to be offered for our students, and it's going to be this way through the duration of our school closures. So what that means is that our nutrition services department is going to continue to work to put together meals that students, and at this point, it's going to be open to all students. It's not just those who are qualified for free and reduced meals. So any student who wants lunch can pick it up at the designated locations. And those locations are listed in our COVID-19 update section on the website. But just to give you an indication, this week, lunches are only available for pickup at one location. And then starting Friday throughout next week, we won't be serving any meals because that is our regularly scheduled spring break. So we never serve the meals during spring break. And then thereafter, we will be serving both breakfast and lunch to any student who wishes to go to any school, because the food will be available at all of our locations, all 35 of our locations. There are no trips, field trips, all activities, events, sporting events, field trips have been canceled and or postponed at this time. And I don't know, I'm sure that some of our community partners have already heard that also our facilities are closed to outside groups who normally use our facilities for their meetings and gatherings. I think I just want to let everyone know that the best way to get information for what's going on with the school district is probably to just go on our website or our social media, because what I've been doing is it's just like an automatic thing where I will send it out to our community on behalf of Dr. Enfield through our Aries system, but then I will thereafter immediately post the same information on our Facebook, through our Twitter, and sometimes on our Instagram. So that's the best way to get information. But also, if anyone, I will share my cell phone number in case anyone has any school related questions after this point and they'd like to call me. I'm sure everyone has Dr. Enfield's contact information, but we're all kind of right now extremely busy. So if you can't get a hold of him and you need to find something out, you can give me a call and then I'll make sure that that message gets to him.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. We did have some questions that came in and those have been answered. Thank you for answering those questions. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, next up we have Chino Hills Lieutenant. Chino Hills Lieutenant Patrick J. O'Brien. Let me make sure there you go.
I think I unmuted, so hopefully I'm there.
You are, yes.
Excellent. My name is Pat O'Brien. I'm the lieutenant over here at Chino Hills. Thank you guys for having me this morning. I wasn't able to hear what Chief Simmons said, but I assume that he let you guys know it's business as usual. And that's pretty much the same thing that we've got going here. The Office of the Sheriff and the executive staff, they're continuing to participate in conference calls with officials at the national level. And the department as a whole is monitoring the status of the declared emergency at state and federal levels. But for our everyday responses to emergency and non-emergency calls, that nothing's going to change. We will continue to deliver continuous law enforcement services to our community. Our deputies are practicing different levels of personal safety, social distancing, washing hands. They've been given some personal protective gear that they can use. And then we have full-on protective suits that they can wear should it come to that. And to help with that, our dispatchers, they're asking questions of anybody that calls in. And if we're going to send a unit to that address, they're asking questions about virus exposure, so that the deputies can have that information before they get to the call. Our different little things, our front office, we're limiting things like live scan, that's the fingerprinting. People come to the office and we'll still take reports from those people, but again, they'll practice social distancing and things like that. Our ride-along program has been halted. Our volunteers are encouraged to stay home, and they've even allowed employees that are 65 and older to stay home should they desire. Our jails, inmate visiting has been canceled, and our courts, there's several court closures, Barstow, Big Bear, Fontana, Needles, Rancho, all those courts are closed. San Bernardino Justice Center is open for limited emergency matters, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 12 noon. However, behind the scenes, everything is still going pretty much as normal. They have staff there. They're processing all of the arrests and paperwork that needs to be processed by law. And other than that, that's pretty much it. Like I said, everything is going to continue going as normal. We're still going to respond to calls. We're still out there to help where we're needed. And that's all I have.
Okay, we do have a question for you. Is there any enforcement? So, you know, we're told not to have gatherings of any sort. Is there going to be any kind of enforcement of gatherings, or maybe even a protocol for citizens to report gatherings? What is your thoughts on that?
Right now, we don't have any plans to enforce people gathering. That's not something we're going to get involved in at this point. I imagine you can contact your local elected officials or whatever to report it. I honestly, I don't know about reporting large gatherings, where we're going to get it. But as for us enforcing people gathering, then no, we're not going to be doing that.
Okay. Okay, no, thank you. We really appreciate that. Thank you for and giving your insights into how you guys are handling this currently. We really appreciate it. Okay, next up on our list would be, so we have Ryan Neeson from San Bernardino County Workforce Development. Ryan, are you there?
Zeb, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Thank you. I know I have limited time. I'll make it brief. We have all of our business services still available. I've posted in the chat. We have our free HR hotline for businesses in SB County. I'll just give it out right now. It's 877-282-3763. And that is a corporation who will answer all your HR questions for free. It's paid for through the county, and it's for businesses here in the county. So at this time, please, all businesses utilize that. I also posted my email, my direct email. Any businesses in the county can email me with any questions and links and how we can help them. One of our services that we have at the Workforce Development Board is that's probably going to be utilized coming up here as our rapid response feature. And what that does is it helps businesses who might be facing layoffs and closures. We can come out, we can visit the business, we can bring all the resources that are available from the state and the county. Business resources like child support, unemployment insurance, the EDD department, and our county workforce as well, and help businesses to address any kind of closures they're having and layoffs. We can direct our services directly to their layoffs and their associates. So it's a great service that we've put in place for many years now. We also have our layoff aversion, which Zeb, you're a part of. It's facilitated by Jenny De La Mora. And that's to help businesses to keep from closing and to keep from laying off. And we have business consultants who will come out and help you attack the areas that you're having trouble with. So these are all services that are available to businesses to keep them open, especially during this time right now. A lot of businesses still are hiring. We know there's a big bump in grocery stores. Amazon especially has raised their hourly wage by $2 up to $17 an hour here. And they're looking for part-time and full-time employees. So we just want to encourage anybody who is looking for jobs. There's still jobs available. We have services for businesses to help them with reimbursing our on-the-job training or OJT service. We can help businesses with their new hires to help train them and get them going and get their new staff up and running. So these are all, services that we can elaborate on further, not in this crunched up time that we have, but I make myself available to all the businesses in the county.
That's fantastic. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, we also have our AJCC here in Rancho Cucamonga. That's the closest one to Chino. Currently, we still have services available. Going forward, we may limit that, but we'll still be here available through phone and email.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Ryan. Does anybody, if you have questions for San Bernardino County Workforce Development, or you have further questions for the Police Department of Chino Hills, please feel free to include those in the chat. One of the things I will say about San Bernardino County Workforce Development is they do have resources available to you, and I know that that's an opportunity to use that. So if you are laying off your employees or you're doing that, I would encourage you to reach out to them because there might be solutions that you haven't thought of yet. So that would be a good source for you to reach out to. So Ryan included his email address and phone number in the chat box, so make sure you take advantage of that. I also want to say, so Gil Cisneros, Congressman Cisneros is hosting an online town hall with public health experts from St. Jude's Hospital today at 3 o'clock. That link is also in our chat box. So you want to make sure you click on that and attend that if you're able to today at 3 o'clock. I think so if you have the same thing, what I want to kind of reiterate is this is your chance from your own business, your own experience, ask the questions that you need. We brought in panelists from a lot of different areas to talk about how this is affecting business, resources that you have that are available at the different levels of our government, but also the different agencies which are here to help and assist businesses in our area. We were trying to get, so I tried to get San Bernardino County Department of Public Health having, are just swamped, to put it mildly. And we also reached out to some of our local health agencies as well. But as you can imagine, they're all kind of busy right now. So what I will also say is so I'll just kind of do a brief recap of the Chino Valley Chamber, what we've done. As we're doing this, please feel free to ask your questions or put any comments in the chat section. We'll try to address those. We still have many of our panelists still on the line, so there's still an opportunity to ask questions. If you asked a question earlier and we didn't answer it when we're chatting with the panelists itself, do me a favor and include those in the chat too, and I'll try to bring those back up. What I will say is, so let's go through the chamber update stuff. Some of it I've mentioned before, but on our website, we have the resource page. It's called the COVID-19 update. This is where we're updating our businesses on the things that are most relating to our area when it comes to business. So if you own a business or you work in a business and you want to get the most up-to-date information from our area and also from the agencies, we're trying to compile that as best as we can. If there's something you feel like we're missing there, just shoot me an email and I'll be happy to try to put that on the page itself. We did put together a survey for our businesses. We feel like this is important for our businesses to complete this survey so that we can take it and educate and let our local government agencies know what issues and challenges our businesses are facing, because there will be resources available to your businesses, and we want to make sure that we can get that information to these folks as quickly as possible. So I think we've had about 30 businesses so far that have filled out our survey, so you've got some good feedback from that. So I encourage you, not only you to fill it out, but to send it to any business owner in the Chino Valley so that we can compile that together for those folks that came in as panelists today, to help educate them about what our businesses are doing. Let's see, Curtis Compton is chiming in and saying that there is that HR hotline, which people have asked questions. So make sure you take advantage of that HR hotline, especially if you're having those conversations with employees about if you're having any kind of challenging situation when it comes to that. You definitely want to make sure you're taking advantage of that. The other thing is we're talking about the Zoom meeting. So we have our normal business at breakfast, and what the plan will be for the future is we are going to have what's called a meeting through Zoom, where we will all be looking at each other like this. So today we set it up as a webinar because we wanted to make sure this is a new platform for me. I wanted to make sure that our panelists, with a bunch of people coming on at the same time. So this is more an informative piece. Next week, we'll have an opportunity to discuss and chat just like we normally do at our business at breakfasts. Let me see if there's anything else here. I'm also gonna, we have our next thing that we're going to do virtually is on Friday. So on March 20th, we have a representative from the census, which would be our normal pizza and politics. So I think the plan is to have that from 11:30 a.m. To 1 p.m. on Friday, and it might be a little bit shorter than that because we're not going to be having the pizza part of this, but we will be having that, and the topic is Come to Your Census. So we're going to be talking about the census, which it could be an interesting thing because we're really pushing for that, and that could be, who knows what that looks like. So it might be a good idea to attend that event to learn how the census is handling it, because I know there's a big talk about if we don't have enough people filling it out, I mean, that's billions of dollars that would be missing out of our community. And so with the coronavirus and how are they handling it, how are they looking at that, I'm sure we'll get updates about that on Friday. So you want to make sure we're aware of that. Let's see. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, another thing I want to share is I do plan on taking this video, our conversation today, and putting it up on a platform. I think my question to you is, which platform would be best? Would it be better to post it as a Facebook video or a YouTube video? So if you have that, comment in there, put it in the chat box, and I'll make sure we post it there. I'll share it on both platforms, but I just want to know what you prefer. Let me see if some other topics that have come in. So we did have a vote for YouTube. San Bernardino County has put their business workshops up on their YouTube channel. So I actually created their YouTube channel for them. So they have all of their business workshops that we've hosted is up on their YouTube channel. Ryan included the link in the chat. We have 2 votes for YouTube. So it sounds like I'll be posting on YouTube. I will still share it to our Facebook page when this is done. As for our panelists, you guys have seen the chat and chatted in. Does anybody have anything else you would like to add before we end today? Peter?
Not for me. I just wanted to, I saw that the census was up to around 100 a little while ago. I just wanted to reiterate for those that missed when I spoke close to an hour ago now, that the county issued orders to cancel any gatherings of any size within the next couple of weeks. So public meetings or public gatherings. So other than that, no. Very informative. Great to hear from all the local entities, especially the school district, which everybody's focused on.
Yeah, this is Pat O'Brien again. Hey, one thing I did forget to mention: all the extra officers from the court closing and everything, they've been redirected to the local stations. And Chino Hills is getting 6 officers that we're going to use specifically for extra patrol of all our local businesses. So I'll put that out there.
Wonderful. And Pat, we did have a question about homeless. Is there any kind of, is there any special attention that's being focused on the homeless population in our area when it comes to the coronavirus?
Anything extra? No, but they're still offered all of the same services. All of that's available to them through our deputies and through the Sheriff's Hope team. So whenever we encounter somebody that's homeless, we still offer them all of the same services.
Okay. Stephanie, do you have anything? No. Ryan?
No, just that we have a workshop coming up next week on the 26th. It's going to be a webinar. You can email me and I could send you the link out to register for that.
Okay, and I think, Valerie, are you still on?
Yes, I'm still on.
Any last minute comments?
Yes, I want to just take the opportunity to remind everybody about practicing the good hygiene that you hear quite a bit across the news to prevent the spread. So I want to remind everyone that they need to continue to do what the CDC is recommending, which is to wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. So we want to remind people about that. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth with your unwashed hands. And also, if someone becomes sick with respiratory symptoms like fever and cough, they really should stay away from others and practice that social distancing. And so those are important reminders to take the opportunity to remind everyone each and every time.
Perfect. I want to thank all of our panelists for taking the time out. I know everybody's busy today and running around and doing stuff. I know our businesses greatly appreciate it. We've gotten so many emails and stuff from our businesses just saying how this has impacted their business and their concern for the future. And so I appreciate you guys coming in and informing them as best as you can. And I want to thank our business. Make sure you sign up for email lists. Make sure you follow us on social media, because we really want to make sure that we have the ability to connect you with all the resources that will be available to you over the next few months. And also, if you're facing challenges, struggles, issues, that's what the Chamber of Commerce is here for. We're here to help and support your business. And as are all of our panelists who came in today, we're here to assist and support as best as we possibly can, while also making sure that we're being safe and protecting others as well. So I want to thank you guys all for coming on. I really appreciate it. This will be live on YouTube, so I'll put it up on the YouTube channel. I will share it to all of our social media outlets and post it out and send it out via email. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. Stay safe, wash your hands, and be good.